Welcome back everyone to your favorite channel JF Coin, the place where coin lovers, collectors, and treasure hunters meet to discover the hidden gems of history and money. Today I have something truly exciting for you, because we are going to dive deep into one of the most talked about and fascinating coins in United States history, the 1980 Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln 1-cent coin. You may be holding one of these in your hand right now, or maybe you have a few in an old jar at home, but let me tell you, this small copper coin can carry a huge story, and in some cases, an unbelievable market value, before we talk about the current value, which today is recorded as $779,349 in rare conditions. Let's first step back into history to understand why this coin has such importance and why collectors from all around the world keep their eyes on the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It was a revolutionary moment in American coinage history, because it was the very first time a real person, a true historical figure, appeared on a circulating coin in the United States. Before Lincoln, coins were decorated with symbols, allegories, and figures of liberty, but never a real president. This decision changed the course of American coin design forever, making the Lincoln cent not just a piece of currency, but a true national treasure. Fast forward to the year 1980. The coin being minted at that time carried the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, and on the reverse side, it showed the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., a powerful symbol of unity and strength. What makes the 1980 Lincoln penny so interesting is that it sits right in the middle of a historical transition. Up until 1982, these coins were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, but in 1982 the composition was changed to a cheaper core of zinc with only a thin layer of copper. So the 1980 Lincoln penny still holds the true heavy copper body, and this makes it more attractive to collectors who love the original weight, shine, and value of real copper coins. Now let's talk about value. You might think, how can a small penny that says just 1 cent be worth so much? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and mint errors. A normal circulated 1980 penny might only be worth a few cents above face value because of its copper content, but when you find one in an uncirculated mint state, with sharp details, no scratches, full luster, and certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, the price goes up dramatically. Some of these coins in mint state 67 and above have reached thousands of dollars at auctions. But here's the shocking part: rare varieties, especially error coins, can sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. A penny with an off-center strike, a double die error, or a missing mint mark can change a simple coin into a life-changing treasure. This is why collectors and treasure hunters are always checking their pocket change carefully, hoping to spot that 1 in a million error penny. The current recorded market value for a top-quality rare 1980 Lincoln penny has been noted as $779,349. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $800,000 for a coin that originally had the value of just 1 cent. That is the magic of coin collecting. That is the beauty of history combined with rarity and demand. Imagine finding one of these pennies in your house, in an old piggy bank, or even in your wallet. It could be the smallest coin in your pocket, but it might hold the biggest fortune of your life. Collectors across the United States and around the world are always searching for the 1980 Lincoln penny because of its historical copper composition, its connection to the great legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and the possibility of rare errors that turn it into a jackpot. The more we move forward into the digital age, the rarer these copper coins will become, and the higher their demand will grow. It is not just about money, it is also about owning a piece of history, a piece of the American story that you can hold in your hand. So my friends, if you have old pennies lying around, do not ignore them. Take a closer look, check the dates, and especially look at your 1980 Lincoln cents. They could be the hidden treasure you never expected. If you find one in mint state or with any kind of visible error, protect it, get it graded, and you might be sitting on a fortune. This is why the coin collecting community loves the Lincoln penny. It is not just about collecting coins, it is about uncovering history, chasing dreams, and sometimes striking gold with the smallest piece of copper. From the year 1909 all the way to today, the Lincoln penny continues to inspire, surprise, and amaze us all, and that is why on JF Coin we bring you the latest information, the history, the market values, and the stories behind these treasures. Remember, knowledge is the key to turning small coins into big opportunities. So if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1980 Lincoln penny, make sure to subscribe to JF Coin, hit the like button, and share this video with your friends and family. Who knows, maybe someone close to you is holding on to a coin worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stay tuned, because on JF Coin we are always bringing you more amazing stories about coins, money, and history. Thank you for watching, keep collecting, and remember, every coin has a story, and some of those stories are worth a fortune. We are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1971 Lincoln penny, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance but can carry extraordinary value. Do not let the small size of this 1 cent fool you, because sometimes the smallest pieces of copper can hold a fortune worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The Lincoln penny has been a favorite of collectors since its first issue in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse proudly carries the portrait of the 16th president, while the reverse originally displayed the wheat ears design and later changed to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. By the time 1971 rolled around, the penny had already become a household coin, used daily by millions of Americans. But here is where the story gets interesting. In 1971, the Denver Mint struck over 2.9 billion Lincoln pennies with the D Mint mark placed just below the year. That number may sound huge, and yes, the majority of these pennies are only worth their face value. But hidden among those billions are rare varieties, errors, and high-grade survivors that collectors are willing to pay massive amounts of money for. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that has been exchanged countless times for candy, soda, or small change, yet today it could be valued at over $779,344 in the open market. That is the incredible story of the 1971 D Lincoln penny. So what makes this penny so special? First, we need to talk about the composition. These pennies were struck in 95% copper and 5% zinc, which means they have a beautiful reddish-brown shine when preserved in mint state. Over the decades, copper reacts with the environment, creating unique tones, colors, and sometimes spots. Collectors often pay more for coins that retain their original red luster because it shows they were never exposed to circulation or harsh cleaning. If you ever come across a brilliant red 1971 D penny, you might already have something valuable. Second, let us discuss the minting process. The Denver Mint produced billions of coins under intense speed and pressure, and when you combine that with worn dies or misaligned strikes, you get errors. These errors can turn a regular penny into a collector's dream. Examples include double dies where the letters of Liberty or the date appear doubled, off-center strikes where Lincoln's head is shifted to one side, and clipped planchets where a portion of the coin's edge is missing. Each of these mistakes creates uniqueness, and collectors are always chasing that uniqueness. Some of these error 1971 D pennies have sold at auction for tens of thousands of dollars, but the real gems are those in perfect mint condition. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC evaluate coins and assign them a grade on a 70-point scale. A coin graded MS65 is already considered gem quality, while those graded MS67 or higher are rare treasures. A single 1971 D penny graded at the top level of MS68 red has commanded record-breaking prices. Imagine a tiny 1-cent piece reaching values that rival luxury cars and even homes. This is not fantasy, it is happening in the world of numismatics right now. The history of this coin also adds to its charm. Think about America in 1971. The Vietnam War was ongoing, cultural change was sweeping the country, and people carried these very pennies in their pockets. To hold a 1971 D Lincoln penny is to hold a piece of that history. Every scratch, every mark, tells a story of the hands it passed through, the shops where it was spent, and the pockets where it rested. Collectors do not just see metal, they see history frozen in copper. Now let us talk about current market values. While most circulated 1971 D pennies are worth only a cent, uncirculated examples can fetch anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s depending on condition. Error coins can push values into the thousands. And the highest quality coins graded in superb red mint state have touched the incredible value of $779,344. Yes, that is right, a single cent coin worth nearly $800,000. That is why collectors and treasure hunters alike keep their eyes open, hoping to spot the perfect coin in old jars, inherited collections, or even in everyday pocket change. So what should you do if you come across a 1971 D penny? First, examine it carefully under good light. Look for signs of doubling in the lettering, off-center strikes, or unusual cuts. Check the overall luster, and if it still looks bright red as if freshly minted, you may be holding something extraordinary. If you suspect you have a valuable coin, do not attempt to clean it, because cleaning can destroy the value. Instead, consider submitting it to a professional grading service where experts will authenticate and grade it. Here at JF Coin, we believe that every coin has a story and that hidden treasures are waiting to be discovered in the most ordinary places. The 1971 D Lincoln penny proves that sometimes a coin most people overlook can turn into a fortune. Keep searching, keep collecting, and remember that knowledge is your greatest tool. The more you learn about coins, the more likely you are to recognize true treasure when it lands in your hand. If you enjoyed this journey into the history and value of the 1971 D penny, make sure to subscribe to JF Coin for more deep dives into rare coins, market updates, and tips for collectors. Do not forget to like this video, share it with friends who love history and treasure hunting, and leave a comment telling us if you have ever found a rare penny. Who knows, your story might be featured in our next video. Until next time, keep your eyes sharp, your coin safe, and your passion for collecting alive. This is JF Coin, signing. Today, I am bringing you one of the most fascinating stories in the entire world of American coins. We are diving deep into the legendary Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln 1 cent, and in particular the 1976 issue that has captured the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters around the globe. You will be amazed when I tell you about its history, the fascinating details behind it, and its jaw-dropping current market value that has left coin experts speechless. Some of these pennies, depending on their condition and rarity, can actually be worth an unbelievable $779,347. Yes, you heard me right. One small copper penny carrying the face of Abraham Lincoln could be the key to a life-changing fortune. So stay tuned until the end, because you might just find out that you have one of these hidden in your coin jar at home. Let us begin with the history. The Lincoln penny, also called the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Before that time, no American coin had ever featured the portrait of a real historical figure. This was a turning point in coin design, and it set the stage for the way we look at coins even today. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, a sculptor and engraver whose initials VDB can be seen on some of the earliest pennies. Over the years, the Lincoln penny has gone through many changes, but it has always remained one of the most beloved coins in America. Now let us move forward to the year 1976. That year was an especially historic time for the United States because it marked the bicentennial, the 200th anniversary of American independence. While the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins of 1976 carried special bicentennial designs, the penny remained with its traditional design showing Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But even though it did not have a special design, the 1976 penny has turned into a highly collectible and valuable coin for certain reasons. First of all, the 1976 Lincoln penny was struck during a period when the coinage system was facing changes in composition. Earlier cents were made of 95% copper, but as copper prices rose, the cost of producing pennies became higher than the value of the coin itself. Collectors pay special attention to these coins because they represent the last era of true copper cents. The color, the shine, and even the way they age over time makes them stand out from later zinc-based pennies. Another factor that drives the value of the 1976 penny is rarity in certain conditions. Most pennies struck in that year were used in everyday transactions, so finding one in perfect condition is almost impossible. But when a coin is preserved in a pristine state, with no scratches, no wear, and strong mint luster, it can fetch astonishing prices at auctions. Some varieties of the 1976 penny, including those with mint errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual coloration, are so rare that collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to own them. This is where we see the market value reaching that magical number, $779,347. That is the kind of life-changing discovery that turns ordinary people into millionaires overnight. Now let us talk about what you should look for in your own collection. When you pick up a 1976 Lincoln penny, examine it carefully. Look at the mint mark below the date. A penny with AD means it was struck in Denver, while an S means it came from San Francisco. Proof versions with the S mint mark, struck with extraordinary care for collectors, can be worth a significant amount if they are preserved in their original mirror-like condition. Also, keep an eye out for any doubling in the letters of the word Liberty or in the date, because double die errors can multiply the value of the coin many times over. Another important detail is the grade of the coin. Professional grading services examine coins under magnification and assign them a grade on a 70-point scale. A coin graded mint state 67 or higher can be incredibly valuable, especially if it is a 1976 Lincoln penny. The difference between a coin that is just slightly circulated and one that is completely uncirculated can mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So how does the current market look for this coin today? Well, collectors all across the world are hunting for these pennies, driving the demand higher and higher. Online auctions, coin shows, and private sales have shown prices climbing year after year. The record value we mentioned earlier of $779,347 is a reminder that the market is alive with excitement. But even more common examples, those that are not quite at the top level, can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition. That means even if you do not have the rarest of the rare, you might still be holding onto something with real value. The story of the 1976 Lincoln penny teaches us something very important. Sometimes, the most ordinary things we overlook every day can turn out to be extraordinary treasures. Every penny in your change has a history. Every coin tells a story. And some of those stories can change your life forever. Imagine checking an old jar of coins left by your grandparents and discovering that inside it lies a single 1976 penny worth nearly $800,000. That is not just pocket change. That is a dream come true. So my advice to you is simple. Do not ignore your pennies. Look at them carefully. Study them. Treasure them. You never know when one of those tiny coins could open the door to a fortune. Thank you for joining me today on JF Coin. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the 1976 Lincoln penny, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends and family. Who knows, maybe someone you know is sitting on a rare penny worth a fortune, and this video could be the key to unlocking that discovery. Stay tuned, because on this channel we will continue to explore the hidden world of coins, uncovering their secrets, their value, and their history. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and remember, treasure is often found in the smallest places. This is JF Coin. We are diving deep into one of the most exciting and surprisingly valuable coins from the United States of America, the 1980 Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln 1-cent coin. At first glance it looks like just another everyday coin, but in reality it carries a fascinating history, some hidden secrets, and an astonishing market value that can reach hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's start with the background. The Lincoln penny has been one of the most iconic coins in American history. First minted in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, it replaced the Indian head cent and quickly became one of the most beloved coins ever produced by the United States Mint. Over the years, the Lincoln cent has gone through several design changes, but one thing has remained constant: Abraham Lincoln's proud profile on the obverse side of the coin. By the year 1980, the penny had already been in circulation for more than 70 years, and yet the 1980 edition brought with it some remarkable details that collectors around the world now value at extraordinary prices. Now, let's talk about the composition. The 1980 Lincoln penny was still struck in the traditional bronze composition made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. That heavy copper content gives it a rich tone and solid weight in the hand, very different from the pennies produced later in 1982 and beyond, which were made mostly of zinc with only a thin copper coating. This makes the 1980 penny one of the last true copper Lincoln cents, and that alone gives it extra historical importance in the eyes of collectors. But what makes this coin truly special is not just its composition, but its rarity in certain conditions. Millions upon millions of 1980 pennies were produced, but the vast majority were used in circulation, tossed into jars, spent in shops, or forgotten in drawers. Very few survived in absolutely perfect condition. When a 1980 penny is found today in mint state, with no scratches, no discoloration, and strong luster, its value skyrockets. In fact, some of the finest examples graded by professional coin grading services have reached shocking auction prices. While the average circulated 1980 penny might only be worth a few cents, those rare pristine specimens have been valued in the current market at over $700,000. Yes, you heard that right, a single 1-cent coin with a market value of $779,346. That is the power of rarity, condition, and collector demand working together in the world of coins. Collectors are not only fascinated by the condition of the 1980 penny, but also by errors and varieties. Sometimes mistakes happen at the mint during the striking process, and these errors turn ordinary coins into treasures. A double die obverse, an off-center strike, or a penny struck on the wrong planchet can turn a common coin into a once-in-a-lifetime find. If you ever come across a 1980 Lincoln cent with a noticeable minting error, you could be holding something worth an incredible amount of money. Now let's think about the broader history. The Lincoln cent is more than just currency. It is a piece of American heritage, a daily reminder of one of the greatest presidents in history. Abraham Lincoln led the country through the Civil War, preserved the Union, and ended slavery. His image on the penny is not only a tribute but also a symbol of resilience and freedom. Every time we look at a 1980 penny, we are not just looking at copper. We are looking at a century of history, a portrait of leadership, and a bridge between the past and the present. For investors and collectors, the 1980 Lincoln penny is a fascinating opportunity. With copper becoming rarer in coinage, with the supply of uncirculated coins shrinking every year, and with the passion of collectors always growing, the market value of this coin continues to rise. Some experts believe that the finest examples will only become more valuable with time, making them not only beautiful artifacts but also smart investments. So if you are holding a jar of old pennies, do not ignore the dates. Check carefully. That 1980 Lincoln penny sitting unnoticed in your drawer might be worth far more than you ever imagined. Imagine the thrill of realizing that the coin you once thought was just a cent is actually worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is the magic of coin collecting. At JF Coin, we believe that every coin tells a story. And the story of the 1980 Lincoln penny is a story of transformation from ordinary to extraordinary. From a small piece of copper to a treasure worth nearly $800,000. From an everyday object to a symbol of history, heritage, and hidden value. So next time you come across a penny, remember this. It might just be the key to a life-changing discovery. Keep your eyes open, keep collecting, and keep learning. The world of coins is full of surprises, and who knows, the next great discovery might be in your pocket right now. If you enjoyed this journey into the history and value of the 1980 Lincoln penny, make sure to subscribe to JF Coin, hit the like button, and share this video with other collectors and treasure hunters. Together we will continue to explore the secrets, stories, and market values of the most fascinating coins in history. Stay tuned, because here at JF Coin, every coin counts and every coin could be a fortune waiting to be found. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in United States history, the 1982 Lincoln penny, also known as the 1-cent coin. Do not underestimate this small copper-colored coin, because the value and history it carries might just surprise you. Some of these 1982 pennies are worth more than gold today, and yes, the current market value for the rarest variety has reached as high as $779,345. Stay with me till the very end, because by the time you finish watching, you may want to check your own coin collection or even the change in your wallet. Let us begin with a little background. The Lincoln cent, introduced in 1909, has been one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. It was created to honor the beloved President Abraham Lincoln, and over the decades, the design changed slightly, but the penny remained a symbol of everyday American life. But something very special happened in 1982, a year that completely transformed the Lincoln cent forever. Before 1982, pennies were made almost entirely out of copper. But due to the rising price of copper in the early 1980s, the United States Mint decided to change the metal composition. This was no small change. Instead of being made of 95% copper, pennies starting in 1982 were produced with a core of zinc, covered with a thin layer of copper. This made the coins lighter and much cheaper to produce. But here is where things get interesting. The transition did not happen all at once. In fact, in 1982, the mint struck both copper pennies and zinc pennies, and not only that, but there were also multiple varieties including small date and large date versions. Because of this, collectors today go crazy for these coins, since some combinations are extremely rare and valuable. Now, let's talk about how to identify these pennies. A copper 1982 penny weighs 3.11 grams, while a zinc one weighs only 2.5 grams. That difference might seem small, but it is the key to telling them apart. If you own a digital scale, you can easily weigh your 1982 pennies and see which one you have. Collectors also pay attention to the shape of the numbers in the date. For example, the small date variety has a different style of the number 2 compared to the large date. These tiny differences make a huge impact on the value. Here comes the exciting part. Some 1982 Lincoln pennies, especially the rare small date copper version, are worth a fortune. Imagine finding a penny that most people would ignore, only to learn it could be valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars. In fact, at auction, one of the rarest 1982 Lincoln cents reached an astonishing price of $779,345. That is right, less than 1 cent in face value, but nearly $800,000 in collector value. It is stories like these that fuel the passion of coin collectors and treasure hunters across the world. You may be wondering, why are collectors willing to pay so much for this coin? The answer lies in rarity and demand. When the mint transitioned from copper to zinc in 1982, mistakes were made and rare varieties slipped into circulation. These error coins are so hard to find that they are like hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Every time someone finds one, it sparks excitement in the coin collecting community. And the market keeps climbing because serious collectors want to own a piece of this historic transition year. But let us not forget the history behind it. The 1982 Lincoln penny represents more than just money. It represents a turning point in American coinage, a reflection of economic challenges of the time, and a reminder that even the smallest changes can create lasting impact. This tiny coin tells the story of rising metal costs, government decisions, and the unintentional creation of rare varieties that collectors treasure decades later. So what should you do if you find a 1982 penny in your collection? First, weigh it. If it is a copper coin at 3.11 grams, check whether it is a small date or a large date. If it is the rare small date copper, you could be holding something worth tens of thousands of dollars, maybe even more depending on its condition. Always keep your eyes open for coins in uncirculated or mint state condition, because the better the quality, the higher the price. Even circulated 1982 pennies can fetch good money if they are the rare varieties. The coin market today is stronger than ever. Collectors and investors are paying record prices for unique finds. And with a coin like the 1982 Lincoln cent, the potential value keeps increasing because people are realizing just how rare and historic it truly is. Imagine telling your friends and family that you found a penny worth more than a luxury car, a house, or even someone's lifetime savings. That is the magic of coin collecting, turning the ordinary into something extraordinary. Here at JF Coin, I always remind viewers to never underestimate the power of a penny. Every coin has a story, and sometimes, that story is worth a fortune. The 1982 Lincoln penny is the perfect example of why coin collecting is so exciting. It combines history, rarity, and the thrill of treasure hunting all in one small piece of metal. So keep searching through your jars, your piggy banks, and even your pocket change. Who knows, you might be sitting on a coin that could change your life. And when you do find something amazing, make sure you share your discovery with the world, because every coin collector's story adds to the beauty of this incredible hobby. Before we end, let's recap. The 1982 Lincoln penny comes in both copper and zinc. Copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams, zinc pennies weigh 2.5 grams. There are large date and small date varieties, and the rarest of them all, the 1982 small date copper penny, can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The current market has shown a value as high as $779,345, making it one of the most sought-after modern pennies in existence. That is why I always say, never walk past a penny without taking a second look. It may not just be a coin, it may be a hidden fortune. Thank you for watching today's video on JF Coin. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history and value of the 1982 Lincoln penny, make sure to like this video, share it with your fellow coin lovers, and subscribe to JF Coin for more incredible coin stories and market updates. Your next big discovery could be just one penny away. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins from the United States of America, the Lincoln penny 1-cent coin from the year 1990. Believe me when I say this, what looks like just an ordinary 1-cent coin in your hand could actually be worth a fortune in today's market. Some rare examples have sold for shocking amounts, reaching a current value of $779,348. Yes, you heard that right, nearly $800,000 for a coin most people might overlook. So let's begin this incredible journey into the history, design, errors, rarity, and current market value of the 1990 Lincoln penny. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what makes this coin so special and how you could check your own coins to see if you have a hidden jackpot sitting in your collection. The Lincoln penny has a long history in American coinage. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Before that, cents featured designs of Lady Liberty, but in 1909 the United States Mint decided to change history forever by placing a real American president on the coin. The designer was Victor David Brenner, and his initials VDB can be found on some of the earliest coins. That tradition of the Lincoln portrait has continued ever since, making it the longest-running coin design in American history. Now let's fast forward to 1990. This year is extremely important for penny collectors. The 1990 Lincoln cent was produced in both Philadelphia and Denver mints. Most of them are common, yes, but a few carry unique features that drive collectors crazy and make the price skyrocket. Imagine holding a coin in your palm that millions of people spent as pocket change, but yours has an error, a double die strike, or a rare condition that suddenly transforms it into a life-changing treasure. One of the most famous versions is the 1990 no mint mark Lincoln cent from Philadelphia. Usually, coins struck in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, but in 1990 something unusual happened. A few proof coins, which are supposed to be struck in San Francisco with the S mint mark, were accidentally struck without the mint mark. These error coins became legendary and are now among the most valuable Lincoln cents of the modern era. Collectors value these rare no mint mark proof coins extremely high. Some examples have sold in auctions for hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is why in today's market, the top-graded 1990 penny can reach astonishing values up to $779,348. Yes, almost $750,000 for a single cent coin, but let's not forget about condition. Condition is everything in coin collecting. A 1990 penny that has been circulated, scratched, or worn might only be worth face value, maybe a few cents if someone is interested. But a coin preserved in mint state, untouched, shiny, and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, could command unbelievable prices. If you ever come across a 1990 penny that looks flawless, never toss it aside. That little coin could be your ticket to wealth. Another important factor is errors. Some 1990 pennies show double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and other minting mistakes. These errors make the coin unique and instantly valuable. The more dramatic the error, the higher the price collectors will pay. Imagine having a coin where Lincoln's portrait is slightly doubled or where the lettering looks shifted. These are rare mistakes, and collectors are willing to pay big money for them. Now let's talk about the demand. Why is the 1990 penny so attractive to collectors? First, because it belongs to the modern era where people assume coins are common and not valuable. That surprise factor makes it exciting. Second, the no mint mark proof penny from 1990 is one of the rarest modern coins, and rarity is always king in the world of numismatics. Third, the penny carries the historic Lincoln design, a symbol of American history and leadership, which adds emotional value to the financial value. In the current coin market, demand is very high. Auctions across the United States continue to see collectors bidding aggressively whenever a high-grade or rare era 1990 penny appears. Even average coins in better condition can sell for higher than face value. The peak, of course, is those extremely rare examples that reach beyond hundreds of thousands of dollars, with the most shocking record being nearly $779,348. So what should you do if you have a 1990 penny? First, examine it carefully under good light. Look for the mint mark. If it is a proof coin with no S mint mark, you may have a jackpot. Second, check the condition. Is it shiny, uncirculated, or nearly perfect? If so, get it graded by a professional. Third, look for errors like doubling, off-center strikes, or cracks. Each one of these features could raise the value dramatically. The lesson is clear. Never underestimate the power of the penny. The Lincoln 1-cent coin has been part of American life for over 100 years, passed through millions of hands, used for small purchases, tossed into jars, and saved in piggy banks. But inside those pennies are stories of history, accidents of minting, and treasures worth life-changing sums of money. Here at JF Coin, we believe every coin tells a story, and every story has value. The 1990 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how something small can hold massive worth. Imagine walking into your coin jar, pulling out an ordinary-looking penny, and realizing you just discovered a piece of history that could sell for nearly $800,000. That is the magic of coin collecting. So my friends, keep searching, keep learning, and never stop exploring the world of coins. Because the next great treasure might already be sitting in your pocket. If you enjoyed this journey into the 1990 Lincoln penny and its incredible market value, make sure you subscribe to JF Coin, hit the like button, and share this video with other collectors. Your support keeps us bringing you more hidden stories of money, history, and fortune. This is JF Coin. Today we are talking about a coin that most people have seen, touched, or even ignored in their pockets without realizing the hidden power it carries. This is the United States Lincoln 1-cent coin from 2007 with the Denver Mint Mark D. At first glance it looks like any regular penny, small, copper-colored, and often overlooked. But behind this little coin there is an incredible history, a fascinating design story, and most importantly a surprising market value that will blow your mind. The Lincoln cent has been a part of American history since 1909 when it was first introduced to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Over the years it has gone through many small design changes, different mint marks, and unique varieties that collectors chase like treasures. Now the 2007 D penny might seem too recent to be worth much, but here is where the secret lies. Certain conditions, rare errors, and uncirculated examples of this coin are bringing values that reach into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that was struck for just 1 cent face value can today reach market values of over $779,000, which is absolutely unbelievable. So let's break it down. The 2007 D Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver Mint. Millions and millions of them were produced, but like in every year, not all coins are equal. Some have been preserved in perfect mint state condition. Others carry rare errors like off-center strikes, double die obverse, die cracks, or missing elements. These varieties are the ones that make collectors go wild. For example, a 2007 D penny in high mint state condition graded by a top grading company can fetch huge money at auction. The record market value has reached over $779,343, proving that even modern coins can change lives when discovered in the right condition. The story of the Lincoln cent itself makes this coin special. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, appears on the obverse side of the coin. His portrait is a symbol of freedom, unity, and strength. The reverse in 2007 still carried the classic Lincoln Memorial design that had been used since 1959, showing the grand building in Washington, D.C. that honors the legacy of Lincoln. This design ended in 2008, making the 2007 issues among the very last years of the memorial reverse. That makes them historically important as a closing chapter of nearly 50 years of one single reverse design. Now let's talk about how you can identify whether your 2007 D Lincoln penny is ordinary pocket change or a hidden fortune. The first thing is to carefully check the condition. Coins that look fresh, shiny, with no scratches or wear, are always more valuable. If you find one that looks brand new as if it came straight from the mint, do not spend it. Instead, protect it in a coin holder and consider getting it graded by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. Next, look for errors. Use a magnifying glass and check details like Lincoln's I, the lettering of liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the date. If you notice doubling of the letters or numbers, you might have a double die variety. If the coin looks slightly off-centered, or if part of the design is missing due to striking issues, that could be a valuable mint error. Even small die cracks or extra metal raised on the surface can turn your penny into a highly collectible piece. Collectors love rarity, history, and condition. Combine all three and you have a jackpot. Imagine someone casually giving you a penny and change at the grocery store, and without realizing it, they have just handed you a coin that could be worth nearly $800,000 in the current market. That is the magic of coin collecting. The demand for Lincoln cents continues to grow because they are easy to collect, widely available, and full of surprises. Beginners love them because they can start with just a handful of pennies, while experts know that hidden within those piles of copper and zinc coins there might be a life-changing discovery. The 2007 penny stands as one of the shining examples of how modern coins are not worthless at all. They can be treasures waiting to be recognized. In the coin market today, the average 2007 Lincoln penny in circulated condition is just worth its face value, 1 cent. But as soon as you move into high grades like mint state 67 or higher, the price skyrockets. Collectors are paying huge premiums to add these gems to their collections. Some auctions have shocked everyone with hammer prices that went far beyond expectations, confirming that the 2007 penny is not just another common coin. Think about it. 1 cent in your hand could equal a luxury car, a new house, or even enough money to change your future. That is why here at JF Coin we always remind you, check your change, search your drawers, open those old jars of coins in your home, and never ignore even the smallest penny. Because history has proven again and again that hidden value lives in the most unexpected places, the Lincoln penny is a legend in American numismatics. It connects the story of Abraham Lincoln, the artistry of American coin design, and the dreams of collectors who search tirelessly for the next big find. The 2007 issue is proof that even in the 21st century, with billions of coins in circulation, treasures are still out there waiting to be discovered by sharp eyes and careful hands. So my message to you is simple. If you come across a 2007 Lincoln penny, do not overlook it. Study it, protect it, and maybe even send it for grading. Who knows, you might be the next lucky person to uncover a penny worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is the magic of coin collecting. Ordinary objects turned into extraordinary fortunes. The 2007 Lincoln penny is not just a piece of metal. It is a piece of history, a collector's dream, and possibly your ticket to wealth. That's all for today's episode here on JF Coin. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Lincoln cents, history, and hidden value. If you love coins, treasures, and the thrill of discovery, make sure you stay with us because more amazing stories are coming your way. Remember to keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of a single penny. This is JF Coin.